Thank you, Chairman. Good afternoon, Director Wray. Thank you for coming before the Judiciary Committee this afternoon, and I have read your testimony. I want to redirect this questioning for a moment, and I want to focus on the important work that the FBI is tasked with when it continues to do its work with gun violence prevention and keeping our communities safe. As of today, there have been over 300 mass shootings. That's more than the number of days that we have in this year. And statistics will continue to show us over and over again that during the summer, these numbers continue to rise. Extreme risk protection orders play an important role in law enforcement's response to preventing mass shootings from happening. And what are also known as red flag laws or orders, they empower law enforcement, along with family members and household members, to petition a court to actually have an individual that appears to be in crisis have those firearms just temporarily taken away or removed from them with a court order to be returned during expiration of that order. I have a few questions for you, so if you can answer as directly as you can, I appreciate it. Family members and members of law enforcement can often identify individuals who would pose a risk to themselves or to others within the community when they actually possess a gun. As the head of the United States Federal Law Enforcement Agency, do you believe that these red flag laws and these programs enhance public safety?
I don't want to speak on behalf of any specific legislative proposal, but I will say that I know from experience that a number of states have had good experiences with those laws.
Thank you. And in the past several years, several states have actually enacted those extreme risk protection orders. In total, we actually have 21 states, and the District of Columbia have enacted their own forms of red flag laws. If a person who is subject to such an order tries to buy a gun from a federally licensed firearm dealer, would the FBI approve or deny the sale?
Well, I believe if the order is required by state law, making it a state prohibitor, and therefore is loaded into the NICS system, then when the background check is run, when the FFL, the Federal Firearms Licensee, contacts NICS to proceed with the sale, that would pick up the so-called the order that you're talking about, and if that's a prohibitor, then that would block the transaction, is my understanding.
So in the absence of an application or applicable state law, is there a way for the FBI agent to seek an order under federal law?
I'm not aware of any federal law to that effect.
Exactly. If an FBI agent has information that someone has been violent many times in the past, but is not able to seek a criminal conviction, is there a way for the FBI to deny the sale of a gun to that person?
We only deny sales for people who are prohibited by law from possessing firearms.
My bill, the Federal Extreme Risk Protection Order Act, which was passed by the House last Congress, would provide Americans in all states access to these truly life-saving measures. I have reintroduced this bill again this term. Last summer, Congress also passed the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act. Among other critical gun violence provisions in that, the legislation begins to address the problem of gun trafficking. What steps has the FBI taken to implement or utilize this new law that actually helps to stop gun trafficking?
Well, we're of course working closely with the Justice Department to implement all the provisions of the law that relate to NICS in particular. The place that has had the biggest impact on us is certainly on the additional checks that now would be run for the 18 to 20-year-olds. And we started implementing that last October. It was fully implemented starting in January. And it's a big change for us and for the state agencies that are on the receiving end of the request for information, as well as for the FFLs, both the big stores and the mom and pops. It's a big change in the system. I think we've done about 100,000 or so checks of this 18 to 20 in other words, U21 group that we're talking about since the implementation of the act. Those are not all denials, to be clear. In fact, the vast majority of them were sales that appropriately proceeded. But there were some that were, of course, denials based on the statute.
Thank you so much. I'm out of time.
Time of the gentlelady has expired. The gentleman from Texas recognized.